Can we all come inside? Can the guys outside come inside? We're going to start the proceedings, if we can call it that. As I feel a bit awkward now, but anyway. Okay, guys. Sorry, I can't use that thing. I've got a long set of notes here, but I'll probably forget everything I've written down. But anyway, we're getting old. I'm allowed to do that. I was going to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't see a lot of gentlemen here, so I'll just say welcome, ladies. Okay. That's all. To thank and say my thanks to is Derek Shaw. Okay, Derek Shaw. When Sally first passed away, we were sitting at Jackie's house, and we said, I think Jackie had stuff organised by Sunday night, done and dusted. Okay. And Derek said, no, we can have it at our house and I'll make puri roll. And Jackie went, no! So tonight's menu is an honour to Derek. Puri roll. Then, Bruce, where's Bruce? Bruce will know what he'll relate to what I'm going to say now. First of all, if Sally was here now, she would be so embarrassed about you all coming to here and making her the centre of attention. That was Sally. She loved the party, but she never wanted to be the centre of attention. She'd bring everybody together, but she never wanted to be at the middle of it. Okay? Then, the other thing about her is she would be apologising to everybody. Sorry for the chairs, sorry for the cushion, sorry for this, sorry for that. That was ourselves through and through. Okay? I just want, I haven't been able to speak to all of you, so I just want to tell you what happened. Okay, you all know that Sally had multiple sclerosis. It was a terrible thing for anybody to have. And on top of that, she had trigeminal neuralgia, which just gives you a pain in the side of your face that is unbearable. She had an op about 2 or 3 years ago. She had 2 ops. They sorted that out, and about 3 weeks before she passed, it started on the other side. Okay, so we contacted the neurosurgeons and all those guys, and it was all on the way. We had appointments and everything. So Sal wasn't. I wouldn't say she was in the best place at that time. But anyway, we went to visit Jackie for the Easter weekend, and we had a lovely time. Sunday morning, Sally was sitting in bed. I'd gone to make tea. Jackie, as she always does, no concern for our privacy, just walked into the room, sat down, I brought the tea, we were laughing and talking. We were watching stuff on the phone. Absolutely the most lovely morning you could possibly have. Jackie said she just wants to go and hide the Easter egg for her grandchildren, and she said she's going up. So Sally said, Jax, just hang on, I'm going to get dressed. I want to be part of that. So I got Sally up, and when Sally got up, she started saying, I can't breathe, okay? So I said, I got her dressed. She said she wants to go to the bathroom, so I took her to the bathroom. And said, I can't breathe, open the door, open the windows. So I said, Sal, this isn't good. I'm going to, I took her to the bathroom. I said, I'm going to get your stuff. We're going to put it in the car. We're going to go home, go to bed. Tuesday when we get home, when the doctor's open, take the doctor and sort out the trip. And I think by the time between getting out the bathroom and going, loading the stuff and getting in the car, it wasn't long. She really said she couldn't breathe properly. So I said, okay, we're not going home, we're going straight to the hospital, yeah? And sometime on the trip between Jackie's house and the hospital, she passed away. You know, that's just so you know that you don't have to think about it and worry what happened. So that's how it is.
Quickly, thank you.
I think for Sally, she was still at the moment, she could cope, okay? She had people around her that could help her and what have you. So it was really, really a blessing in disguise if you think about what she faced in the future. It was absolutely horrendous. But, you know, we had like a flipping 10-year timeline on what was going to happen. And so it was a huge shock to all of us. I mean, to you guys, everybody here, it was a shock. But the only regret I have is that she didn't have time to say bye bye to your little Scottish dogs. Anyway, they're still upset about it. They haven't come to terms with it. That's why they're not here today. They said it's fine. But anyway, I think so not being in my life now, I think probably my biggest problem is going to my nephew in England sent me a note. He said, who's going to keep you in check now? So I'm going to do that myself. Shame guys. Okay. I think my other thought is, what is the purpose of us all being here today, okay? I mean, conventionally it would be to say our last respects, but who are we saying our last respects to? Sally's not here, she can't hear us, she's not aware of this. So, and why do we have to show our last respects to everybody who's here? Everybody respected Sally. You don't have to show it. So I hope that this getting together is about all of us getting together and helping us through it and making this a little bit easier for us in the future, like almost like a final closing the door. And we'll always remember it, and we all have tears in our eyes, but collectively, us getting together, and hopefully that will make it easier for all of us. I think that's what Sal would have liked, and I think that's what I would like, and I'm sure most of you would like that as well. Okay. So I'm nearly done, guys. I think I've done it. Then I think I owe a lot of people. In fact, I owe everybody here. I think I've heard from every single one of you, and you've got no idea how easier that makes it. Because eventually, when about the 100th person has sent you a message or phone, you actually, fuck, you know. I mean, my phone must be about 200,000 messages full. So, I mean, we're all getting a lot of us are getting to that age now where 50% of us are going to go through that, okay? So guys, I promise you, bomb the people with messages. Even if they hate it, it takes their mind off the shit. And that's my sort of advice to you, okay? So for me it's been quite easy because of that. It's made it a whole lot easier, okay? Obviously little things set off and you have a flippin' little episode, but that'll happen, I don't know, probably ever. I mean, a lot of you have had it happen already, so get ready. And then, I mean, as I said, okay, by Sunday night, Jackie had organised this whole thing already, okay? Sunday night, it was happening at her house. Jackie, Derek was going to make Purvis roll. Jackie said, I'm going to say this one, fuck that. She's going to get a snack cake to it. I think I left their house Sunday afternoon. I think Sunday evening she phoned me and she said, Nick, I don't think our plan's going to work. I don't think a number of people are going to fit in our house. So I said, I don't think so either, Jack. So then, I think in about 5 minutes in that conversation, said, no, the range, we're going for the range. So Jax, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you so much for organising all that shit. And I mean, Jackie and Sally used to sit on the phone for about 2 hours every morning, okay? Jackie would phone, I'd say, Sal, bye. I'd go and shit shave and shampoo, go and take the dogs for a walk, sort out the next day's whatever we had to do. Jackie was still on the phone. That's Jackie for you. So Jack, I promise you from the bottom of my heart, thank you everything for everything that you've done. Okay, it's amazing. Okay. There's other two people I want to thank so much. Francis Vazier, start off. Francis Vazier.
Dixie's not your wife.
Okay. I'm a joke The selflessness of those two has been unbelievable. Okay. Every morning, Sally would be lying in bed, Francis would go and get her up, sort her out, and every third morning,
Second morning.
Eh?
Every second morning.
Every second morning, she used to come around and take Sally for a shower. Amika, your selflessness, I cannot believe it, okay? And myself and Sally are so grateful to you. Thank you so much, okay, for that. And Francis, ek weet nie wat se stront jy moet gaan met Sally. I mean, everybody, Paul once said to me, Sally's harsh, but she's got a heart of gold, okay? And that is so true, I promise you. Sally, to the bitter end, if the powder wasn't right, or that wasn't right, it wasn't say, sorry Francis, what is hierso? Francis, thank you so much. Even now Sally's gone. I'm now, Francis become my Sally. Anything that I can't handle, she'll go do for me and organize. Francis is such an organized person. I don't know Francis. François, Monique, Dashley, Carl, Marcella, stand up. Guys, since the day we bought the farm, Vapi and Monique have been there, okay? Anything, if the water ran dry, Sally, Vapi, you guys can buy. Anything. And then we moved to the farm, and I'd say it just got better. For me, they were a little bit, I'm an idiot, what I know about farming kind of thing. So they put me on the right path. But Sally could ask them to do flipping everything, and it got done just like that. Okay, so I say thank you to you guys from the bottom of my heart, and Sally would have said exactly the same thing. She probably have said it nicer, but I promise you now, she appreciates what you did. And thank you for coming down. I mean, it's a long way. Puppy's got to be back there tomorrow because the cows don't say, you can hold them off. So from that perspective, thank you guys so much. Okay, thank you. And then, the funniest thing happened, okay? Two arseholes came into my life. And Sally's life just recently. Okay? And it came with some flippin' hair-brain scheme, okay? But I promise you now, it excited us beyond belief. And I'd like to say thank you to Seb the drunkard and Diego, the nicest guy in the world. They came to the farm probably about a month or two before Sally, and we got involved with a new thing on the farm. They want to make tequila on the farm. And I promise you now, they keep me busy 24 hours a day, and they don't pay me a cent. So thank you to you guys. It's taken all the pressure off me because I'm occupied. So thank you to you. And then I think that's all I'm going to say now. So Jackie, will you come up and say what you would like to say? And I once again, Jackie, thank you for organising this. And no, thank you to everybody who's helped Jackie, and thank you to people that have done the flowers and all that, okay? Jack, thank you so much for your think Derek thinks Jackie and I are having an affair. 6 o'clock in the morning, I get a little message from her.
Okay, I'm just going to speak from my heart, what I know about Sally. I met Sally on Delbrook Beach in the early 80s. She had just finished, she was at varsity and I had just finished matric. We used to lie on the beach, watching the manor surf in Cork Bay Reef, and chat to all of the...
That's Steve and Alan. John.
And we would chat to the rest of the Range Tokai girls. And this is where our beautiful 45-year friendship started. Our friendship was an unlikely friendship in many ways. We were a bit like Laurel and Hardy. Sally was tall, I'm short. Sally was calm and level-headed, me not so much. Sally had a brilliant mind, good with and numbers. She could remember dates in history. She could even remember who kicked the winning goal in the Springbok rugby final. Me not at all. I liked red wine, she liked white wine. I liked tennis, she liked tennis, I liked golf. I love Labradors, she loves Scottish dogs. I think you get the picture. When we played Trivial Pursuit, tennis or hockey, you always wanted someone on your side because of her vast general knowledge as well as her fierce competitiveness. She was always my phone a friend. Sal was kind and generous and one of the bravest human beings I know. She never complained about her illness. She never let on how much pain she was in. Yet she always had time to listen, no matter what she was going through. She was my voice of reason. She was quick to tell me if I was wrong, but yet compassionate and loving when I needed support and guidance. She helped me and taught me how to protect my inner peace. Thank goodness for WhatsApp. I used to look forward to our early morning chats. As Nick said, he would tell us he's going off to milk the cows or into town, and when he got back, we were still on the phone. But through all of our differences, we had 5 things that we vehemently agreed upon, and we used to talk about in detail every day. Number 1, family. Nick, you were her rock, and you were the best.
No, where we from that.
But a rock is something else.
You were the best partner she could have ever wished for.
You would have done the same on that.
She loved you with every fibre of her being, but you came a close second to the Scotties. Nick, thank you so much for loving her and caring for her. So selfishly, you really are a saint, Nick. To her brothers, Tom, Harry, Nico, the Scholtz and Fairley families, she loved you, each and every one of you, in your own individual ways. She always was so proud of everything that you had achieved. Number 2, friends. She had a wide, diverse group of friends. And as I look around the room here, I can see how she touched so many hearts. Whether it was from childhood, school, varsity, Nurduk, Cork Bay, Shell, and of late Lady Smith. You were also loved and important to her. And I think you'll agree our lives were much better having her in our lives. Number 3, she loved nature. Sal loved flowers. And her gardens were always spectacular, especially her hydrangeas. And every time I see a hydrangea, I will always think of her. She loved her camping trips. She loved watching the sunset, overlooking a waterhole teeming with wildlife. She She loved riding her bike and swimming in the sea. She loved the wind blowing in her face as she was eating an ice cream, or just chilling at home around a fireplace and braai with all of her friends. These were the moments she cherished the most. The fourth one is gin. Sally and I both loved gin. Whenever we were together, it was always gin o'clock. And a G&T will never taste sweeter or more delicious than when I was sharing it with her. As Nick said, Sally hated being the center of attention. And I can hear her say, "Enough, Jackie, get on with it. There's a party to be had." And lastly, number 5 is music. We both loved music. Sally would call me and say, "I don't remember this song. You know the words. Tell me the words of this song." She would also ask me to recite words for her. I was Sally's phone a friend. But when we had our braais, there were 2 songs that were very important and very dear to our hearts. And those were Bryan Adams, Summer of '69, and R.O. Speedwagon, I'm Gonna Keep on Loving You. So you've left a huge gaping hole in our hearts. You were the glue for so many of us. And we were privileged to have you in our lives. Now run free, my beautiful soul, and celebrate with us while we have a drink in your name. I'm going to miss you so, so much. And I will always keep on loving you.
Guys, next is Sally's older brother. Not oldest, but
Not
older
oldest.
brother.
Thank
Thomas, I don't know if you all know him, but those of you don't, good luck.
Thanks, guys. I've had a few whizzes, so I'm fine.
Okay.
Talk.
You want another one?
No, please. No, thanks. Just to say Sally's early life, before she met all of you guys and stuff like that. Sally was actually born here in Cork Bay and was christened at the, what was the name of the church? It's the Holy Trinity, okay. And that by the blind priest and stuff in the Anglican church. And I don't think she remembered much of her Cork Bay days and stuff. Probably in about 64, 65, the family moved up to KwaZulu-Natal, or Zulu-Natal in those days. And in another couple of years, she started school in Kloof. And in Kloof, her first year, she met 2 people, Gay Evans and Sheena Gar-Jackson. And both of them became friends for life up until
Now.
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 They're still contacting Nick and stuff like that, both of them. Sheena is a bit more, because wherever Sally went, Sheena went as well, yeah, and stuff like that. One story while Sally was at Kloof, in about 69 or 68, there was the last outbreak of smallpox in KwaZulu-Natal, in Zululand. Bothers Hill or round about there. And we had, Harry and I will remember at school, we had the inspectors used to come around to the school weekly to look at your vaccination scars. And Timothy, you young guys won't know what vaccination scars are. They made a big cross and put some muti on and you got a big sore. And it left a nasty scar on you. Anyway, Sally used to always end up in tears the day home from school. We all had to show our vaccination scars. We never realized why. They'd vaccinated Sally on the arse. She had to show her bun to the teacher or to the inspector every Friday. Oh, no. And it went on for about 3 months. It was horrible. She was always pissed off with my mother over that. So that was particularly nasty. You remember that story? No. Best friend Sheena Gar-Jackson now became family friends with the Gar-Jacksons and so it'll carry on a bit more. Sally was always shy, but growing up with three brothers and that, we teased the hell out of her and could normally make her cry quite easily and stuff like that. Shame it.
No, it's the other way around, eh?
No. Then when Sally was, I think, standard 5 with firstborn, the family moved to a farm in Ikopo, and Sally went up to the local boarding school in Ikopo, as we all did, where we went in on a Monday morning and came home on a Friday afternoon, unless you stayed for sport, and you came home on Saturday. I think she struggled with it. She went to the standard 5, it was really difficult, even though one friend from from grade 1, or sub A in those days, Gay Evans, was there at Ikopo. Gay Evans was there. So for the first year, she struggled. Second year, she moved to the high school where I was, very small school, and who arrived? The Gower Jacksons. Sheena came, best friend again, and Gay Evans, and the three of them were together. Then boarding school was great. Even the Montebello porridge.
No, Thomas, she hated that.
No, she ate it. I know
Montebello.
that. She
I
ate
promise.
Montebello. Yeah.
That was the way I cooked it. I
On the farm, we were quite far from everyone, and it must have been quite difficult for her. The boys, we were fine. We had guns and fishing and motorbikes and all sorts of things. And my mother bought a polo pony for Sally, teach her to ride. Quite a fresh polo pony. And unfortunately, in the first couple of weeks, Sally had quite a nasty fall with it. And that ruined her confidence with horses at all. I think she stuck to Bobby, the Basutu pony after that. He could only walk. He couldn't do anymore. She didn't ride after that. No, but she found after that, we had repaired a lot of old motorcycles. And we had a particular bike, a delivery motorbike, a Honda 175 electric start, which she could start. And Sally suddenly took to that like a duck to water. And everywhere on the farm, all on the farm roads, you can imagine, miles and miles of farm roads that you could ride on a motorbike. And Sally loved that. In fact, she taught all my friends who were 4 or 5 years older to drive a motorbike. You know, after that, it was quite fun. You know.
Thomas, can I just say one thing about the motorbike? Sally loved motorbikes, and we were at a farm in Ceres once. I don't know why I didn't go there, but where's Bax? Yeah. Paul's there. Paul was there, Sally was there. So Paul and Sally went for a drive. Paul got back to the farm, Sally wasn't on the back. Somewhere he dropped her, she'd fallen off the back. Sorry.
No problems. Sheena was arrived at the school and stuff like that. Life became a little bit better for Sally. I think it was quite difficult for one girl and my mother on quite a lonely farm. We were fine, as I say, the boys were fine. Then in 75 was quite a bad year. Our father died, and through things in turmoil, my mother was alone on the farm. We went to school during the week and stuff like that. And I think that upset Sally. And that. She still did very well at school. Sally still was top of the class most of the years and stuff like that. So it's not a problem. And we slowly made plans. My mother made plans to come back to Cape Town. No. When I'd finished school, the family moved down to Cape Town. I went to the army, so I wasn't there. And Sally started at Weinberg School. Guess who arrived with Sally? Sheena Gauja. Her parents had a bit of a thing there, and Sheena came down to live with them for 2 years while Sally was at school. They lived in Lakeside for a while on the Flay. They rented a house for 2 years or something like that. Then they found a house in Cork Bay where the story with you guys all comes together, because Sally slowly met Janet, who was down the road, and with Janet came Nicholas and Paul Baxter and the hockey club and so on and so forth. So that's how it all ties in with the Noordhoek and the thing. the brass bell days and stuff like that. Sheena then left to go back to England, finished her school there, and went to work in a VD clinic. Yeah, it was quite revolting. That, the first Christmas she was there with her parents, she came down at Christmas and said to her parents, "Merry syphilis and a happy gonorrhea." And was chucked out the house and had to come back to Cape Town, and came back to Cape Town to Sally. And Sheena then went to the nurse's school in Grooterschuur and became a nurse. So that's how Sheena fits in with all of us. Sheena, if you can hear this, nice to hear from all of us.
Take that, Sheena.
Yeah, Sheena. Then Sally, after school, went to UCT, did a BCom. I think met quite a few of you and stuff like that. And after that, just after that, she started losing feeling in her feet. And no one knew why, and she didn't say much. Sally was very private. She wouldn't say much, but Mom told us and stuff like that. Went up to Gardner, the neurologist in Johannesburg, and was diagnosed with MS. And all he said to her, he was quite brutal in those days, he said, "Don't get fat, and don't bath in hot water. And you can go to Israel for a treatment for cough." And that was it. That was all the advice she got for MS in those early days. There wasn't much. There were experimental things which we had from a family friend who came to see us. In fact, he did, Alistair. And anyway, that's what happened. Sally didn't. One thing she told the family, and we all sat down, she said, "Please do not tell anybody." So result is not because she didn't want it to, she just was almost embarrassed of it, and guys, she didn't want to say anything, she didn't want any shame and stuff like that. And the prognosis was unknown. No one knows. Whether you made 40, you might not even make 30. Yeah. Sally didn't know. The update on Sheena. She's in Salt Lake City at the moment, is that right? Yeah. Got hold of Nick the other day. I got a lovely message from her 2 days ago, so it's fine. Yeah. So she's all right. And Gay Evans, who was at all the schools again with Sally. Gay is in Canada, divorced, but Gay came out the first Cape Town Marathon and had supper. Nicholas and Sally came down from the farm and we had supper in town together before she ran the Cape Town Marathon, after surviving lung cancer. Yeah. So that's it. Okay. The last thing now, guys, that's it. I've told up to now, so she's met all you guys now. Cool. Next, now, my thing, on behalf of the family, which is Harry, I, myself and Nicholas, the cousins and everybody, we want to say thank you to just a few people quickly like that and stuff like that. All of you guys who made her life fun and stuff while she was ill. You know, she didn't tell you, so you didn't know, but that's what made her happy. I promise you guys, and stuff like that. All the farm guys, the farm workers, Vapi, all of that, particularly, she really appreciated it. I spoke to her most mornings on WhatsApp after she'd done the Wordle. To help me. Okay. Okay. Then there are a few extra people. The whole Fairley family. You made Sally one of your family. Really, she felt one of your family. Thanks, guys, all of you. Huh? All the Christmases she had with you and stuff. The only thing that pissed her off, Christmas, she always got a bottle of red wine and she didn't drink red wine. Remember that, please. Okay.
Thomas, I think they liked her more than they liked me. You know?
It was mostly Mark. It was Mark who used to give her the presents. She remembered that distinctly. Okay, next. Elma, Sally relied on you on the farm. You were great to her. You looked after the animals and stuff like that. From the family, thank you very much. I mean, really, we appreciate it. And the milk tarts, yeah, don't stop. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Elma. Also, Francis. Huh? Lost Evane 8,000. What's the next one? No, Francis, thank you very much indeed. Sally relied on you. You ran that whole house. You used to get the cottages, and you still, I hope you will, cottages ready for us when we come and stuff like that. We appreciate it, Francis. Thank you as a family. Thank you. Amika, you know what I'm going to say. Thank you. Don't cry on that. Thank you for that. Sally, I mean, really, what you did for Sally, all her personal stuff and every second day and stuff, Sally appreciated it. You can't believe what she used to say and stuff. And the last thing.
Yes to that.
Yeah, Amika. Thank you.
Selflessness like I've never, ever seen in my life. Absolutely.
Every second day, the Bucky came up. What was the Bucky's name, Andre? Slucky. Slucky used to come up. We used to hear Slucky coming up. Yeah. Thank you. And oh God, it's a strong one. Yes. And of course, the last person we have to thank, and Sally would never forgive me if I didn't thank you, Nick.
Thomas, I don't think so, thank you.
I've got hundreds of messages. What do I do without Nicholas? Nick is so good. Nick is. She used to fluke him out. Give Sally a couple of gins after supper and two glasses of wine with supper. The two of them would be like that. And ask Alan. But it's fine. Yeah. But Sally appreciated you, Nick, and I promise you made her life better. I mean, she'd be in a home if it wasn't for you. She would have been in a home for the last 5 years. Thank you, Nicholas, from the family. Thanks for being here.
I would just like, Thomas went through a young years, and there's one thing I could never understand about Sally, okay? And that was when she was at school, okay? I hope all her friends are listening from the Copa. All her friends were the biggest reprobates in the school.
They were naughty.
I don't know, but she was an absolute angel. But anyway, that's a thing I've never been able to fathom up. Maybe one day.
But Sally smoked at school.
Did she?
Yeah, Sally was caught. I don't think she was caught smoking, but.
Anyway, Tom, thank you for that.
No, that's the early years. She met you guys now. That's yours.
Okay, so now we're probably going. That's what Sally always got friendly with reprobates. And that's why Paul's talking next. We call him Tall Paul.
Paul, I was going to include it, but I didn't. Do you remember the time you got a rand coin stuck up your bum? Do you remember that? That was a night Harry looked out the window and he saw Kathy Duffel naked. That was nice. He then saw Jackie naked and he thought, no, even better. He then looked out the window and he saw his wife naked. And he thought, oh, it was a bit much. And when he looked out, he saw his sister naked. Sally was naked in the pool too. That one Christmas, he went home. Do you remember that night, Paul? And you got the rand went missing. Yes.
Sorry, I just
any change here?
Okay, so I spoke, Jackie spoke, Thomas is Sally's brother. Paul kind of knew Sally from probably just after school until this day. So that's where he kind of fits in the picture.
Thanks for that, Nick.
No, it's a pleasure. Give me some money.
You got money, you're paying him.
Sorry guys, I don't have a big voice like Tom. I was hoping there was a microphone.
There is a mic.
It's fine, it's fine. Speak up. So I'm going to read because, I can't do without this.
Emotional.
No, not at all. I just want to thank everyone here so very much for coming together to celebrate Sally's life. This is unbelievable. Nick has asked me to say a few words on behalf of all of us, his friends and family, which is as much as a privilege as it is daunting, given how much she meant to you collectively and the effect she has had on all our lives. A big thank you to everyone that helped me get the memories into some kind of chronological order. Please forgive me for any errors, allow for a little poetic license. I struggled to remember last week, let alone 40 years ago. Our first met Sal in the early 80s. She had already matriculated from Weinberg Girls High with Janet, Mary, Alison to follow. She then went on to qualify with a BCom at UCT, where she met her dear friend Craig. And Sally was then a keen hockey player, tennis player, and an avid cyclist. I think she did quite a few Arguses.
20?
Yeah. So there you go.
No? 20?
Yeah. Anyway, she did quite a few Arguses. In 1985, Sally and Mary took an overseas, I would say, a sojourn to the UK and Europe together, only to return with what has since become known as the dreaded Heathrow injection. It was the one and only time I ever saw Sally remotely overweight. She immediately went on to make a career in finance at Shell head office in Cape Town, with many of her subsequent colleagues becoming our mutual friends, including Justin, Andrew, Ian, Keith, Richard, and dear old Tyrone. Nick had meanwhile left home, moved into a flat share with Alan at the notorious 96 Main Road, called Bay, where many a shindig was held. Whenever ladies were needed to boost the numbers, they'd call on what became affectionately known as the rent-a-crowd, which consisted of Sally, Janet, Mary, Alison, Linda, and Jackie. I think it was around this time when Nick and Sal started to become involved. No one's really sure. I can't pinpoint it exactly. I'm not sure Nick even remembers. He may have been too busy trying to explain why cucumber soup was served cold.
Sis, man.
Nevertheless, from around this period onwards, Sal and Nick were to become lifetime partners, in the true sense of the word. They never traditionally married, though if memory serves me correctly, Thomas should just help me here, Nick did publicly propose on Sal's 50th.
At Deep River Farm.
Yeah, at the Scholtz's Deep River home. It was obviously a spur of the moment thing, because on bended knee he proffered one of those brass rings from a plumbing fitter. Sally initially accepted it and then vigorously threw it into the night. I don't think the subject was ever broached again. Significantly, it was about then that we don't know that Sally found out that she had been diagnosed with MS. Though no one outside of her most inner circle would ever know this until many years later, Sally was the most private and proudest of people. Sal and Nick remained a steadfast couple and went on to build their first home together in Peniel Estate, where I remember Nick abusing his company car in true sales rep fashion.
Lovely.
By the end of that project, the VW Jetta was really looking worse for wear. Severely bent roof racks from ferrying lintels and scaffold planks. I can clearly remember this day, them hosting a bride to celebrate the opening of their new swimming pool. This was the early 90s, and Nick had just received his first company mobile phone, which he seemed keen to demonstrate. We were all outside at the pool when the inside landline telephone started ringing. Sally ran inside to answer it, only to hear Nick's voice on the other end requesting an urgent delivery of toilet paper to him upstairs. In 1996, they built their next home in Seabreeze Crescent, Nodum, and then purchased their home in Nassau Road, the birthplace of Nandi. Both homes were used to host numerous memorable social gatherings. Using Steve, his memory, and his printed photographs as a source, bearing in mind this was before cell phone cameras, the mid-80s to early 2000s gave rise to so many fond memories with Sally. To name but a few, by point, Series Pine Forest Bungalow Weekend. 1995 Rugby World Cup where Sean Asher lost his hair. The Onrust Weekend. There's photographic evidence of Sal trying to light her own fart. Windsurfing at Sunflow. Langebaan camping in Richard's dreadfully sunburned feet. Drunken wine route tastings and various attempts at perfecting the brown eye. Skiing for the first time in Zellemzee. Sally's hysterical laughter when Linda crashed like a starfish into the safety barrier net. Or when she hung her wet t-shirt on the balcony to dry, only to find it frozen board stiff in the morning. Orange River with Lulu the blow-up doll. Out by sailing with Mandy and all of our weddings. In 2015, Nick and Sal moved to their beloved De Bron farm, Ladysmith. Together they created the most beautiful space where, again, numerous dinner memories were made around that kitchen table. Sally seated at the one end, berating Nick at the other, as he went on one of his whiskey-infused monologues will forever be fondly remembered. Sally had a love for animals and gardening. She deeply cherished her beloved mom, whom she cared for so lovingly. Although they would have made the most wonderful parents, sadly Sal and Nick could not have children, but they more than made up for it with genuine affection and kindness towards all their nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
Sal was always interested in our well-being and our children's well-being, and lately the grandchildren. Multiple sclerosis is defined as a chronic neurological disease that attacks the central nervous system, where the body's immune system mistakenly attacks protective covering over the nerve fibers, leading to inflammation and damage. As Sal's symptoms manifested over time, one can only imagine the pain and discomfort she endured, being such a proud and private person. How hard it must have been for her to accept the kindness and help of others. Thank you all so very much for being here today. Oh, shut.
You've lost the pen.
Thanks, Bucks. You champion.
Yeah, very nice. That was.
Bucks, thank you so much. You brought up so...
He's not finished.
Looking for another page.
It happens when you're nervous.
Is that the one with Sally farts?
No.
No.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, you've got two more.
Just remember you had a PA, yeah, today.
Nick, where was I? Nick in turn adapted and supported as much as was humanly possible, and as Sal became more incapacitated, his boermaker plan attitude prevailed. He manufactured ramps, purchased various modes of transport for Sal to get around the farm, even bought a caravan so that he could do road trips together. This culminated in their epic trip to Namibia, and while not without its difficulties, must have given Sal such tremendous pleasure. None of us could possibly appreciate what Sally was enduring on a day-to-day basis. What we do know is that because of the wonderful people surrounding her, her life was made so much better.
Yeah.
Personally, I will forever regret not making her last birthday weekend. Special thanks must be given to Amika. You are an absolute star. For her selfless, dedicated care, and to Jackie, who was there at the end, a steadfast support for both Nick and Sal. What I imagine must have been a most traumatic situation. Jax, thanks so much for all your effort. To Harry, Tom, Nico, and their families, as well as Alma, Claire, Penny, Peter, and theirs, my most sincere condolences. And finally to you, Nick. You have my utmost respect and admiration, my friend. A lesser man would have quit and run a long time ago. Your unwavering love, support, and commitment to Sally is truly remarkable, and a lesson to us all. I just know Sal would want you to go on and live your life to the fullest.
Thanks, bro.
Sally was like an exotic chocolate, firm on the outside, soft as marshmallow on the inside. A kind and generous, loving daughter, sister, aunt, partner, and friend. Shy, but so mentally strong, resilient, and brave. I will forever picture her sitting on her favorite couch with her legs curled under her, her serene smile on her face while watching Wimbledon, Millie and Molly each side of her, and her beloved Yogi at her feet. Godspeed, my friend.
Thank you for bringing back such absolutely memories that I'd forgotten about.
That's
Not
only a
saying
few
much,
of them.
but thank you so much.
Millie and Molly.
But-
Stoepkakker.
No, all the other shit about all the other stuff.
Lovely.
Thanks,
Nice
Bucks.
call.
Okay, I think
Oh,
I started with Jackie went next, Thomas went next, then we mentioned reprobates in Sally's younger years, Then Paul came along and he was bad. But I promise you now, the next guy talking is a cut above. Ned, where's the flip on?
There he is, yeah.
This oak is something else. Be careful. I am scared to go out of this.
Needle, nettle, new.
He doesn't even have notes.
No.
Golly, what is left to say? Because it's all really been said so beautifully. But what I was thinking, loved ones of Sally, her family and relations and friends. I mean, this is a real testament to a very special lady. And I'm really not qualified because you've all known her for far longer than I have. And most of the time she knew me, I was drunk. But there were the odd sober moments. So Nick, I mean, I'm very flattered that you even asked me because I don't feel qualified.
No, Ned, you are bad.
And so I'm talking for Ladysmith and Thorpe. And when Nick asked me to say something, I thought, well, let's find out a bit more about Sally from people who I haven't talked about. And one of the things which has just been said over and over again today, courage. I mean, unbounded courage. She never complained. Well, I never heard her complain. And everyone I've talked to said, you know, she was amazing. She never complained. And I saw the local physio just after Sally passed, and she hadn't heard that Sally was passing, had passed. And so I told her, and she said, oh no, she's coming to see me. She was going to come and see me. And she said, you know, the pain that that lady was in was unbelievable. And she never complained. And she lived, as far as I could see, every moment to the full and just sucked out every drop of enjoyment.
Just Ned, you're right.
Yeah. That's lovely. So
You
right.
know, she was an enthusiast, highly intelligent, articulate, witty, quirky point of view, and wouldn't put up with a lot of nonsense.
Why are you looking at me? You put up with Nick long enough.
I was talking to one of the local people in Thorpe last week, and one of the things that came up was she loved children, but she wasn't going to put up with any nonsense. And I think that might have been a little bit of a watchword throughout her life. No nonsense. Anyway, she will be sorely missed in our part of the world. And she was loved, respected, admired. And she did a lot for the community. And from my point of view, she's an example of how to be a really great, good person.
Cheers, Ned.
Lastly, I'd like to say something about Nick.
I'm speaking last, Dad.
Despite the appalling behaviour and the wobbling of a wheelchair into the car, all the rest of it, you were amazing. Your love, devotion, patience, good nature, most of the time.
Yeah.
But you don't see what goes on behind
Yeah,
those doors. Nick, good luck, old chap.
Thanks, Ned.
And what a tribute to someone this huge gathering. Godspeed, Sally.
Thanks, Ned.
That's all you guys. Absolutely beautiful words about Sally, and appreciated. Huh?
And you. And you.
And really appreciate it. And Sally would have Sally would have been so pissed off about this. I tell you now.
Yes.
Tonight when we got home, I would have
You've
been
been
so in the shit. But anyway, it's my time when I did what I wanted to do. And there were a couple of things I wanted to say, but due to my advanced years, I have forgotten completely.
Whiskey.
Eh?
Whiskey.
No, it's not whiskey. It's I just think.
Justin.
So now
Justin.
Justin is going to go back and tell us about a time in her life where a lot of you didn't know about, okay? Because it was in between tricks. And you know the funniest thing is, I think it was about a week before Sally died, somebody who worked with me and somebody who worked at Shell with Justin passed away as well, Mark de Fleur. And his service is at 3 o'clock today, exactly the same time.
Oh, wow. Oh, shit.
I don't know if any of you can, good friend of Sally's, probably
You.
Ned, he makes you look tame, bud. Justin, look, Justin's, I wouldn't say Justin's a reprobate, but he has huge potential. Justin, my friend, probably our the most, we probably had unbelievable times with this guy. He introduced us to so much shit in our lives. You've got no idea.
Thank you, Nicholas. So this will be a pretty quick one because most of it's already been said. Thanks to the excellent speeches of Jackie and Nick and Thomas and I've forgotten the name already.
Maybe Sigu. No, sorry.
Anyway, this will be a quick one, partly because, as I say, it's mostly been said, and partly because...
No, but it's your words, Justin, it's your words.
Partly
Your
because
words.
I missed my chance to go to the loo before the speeches started. Anyway, my little speech is really a personal tribute to Sally. I know we could all have a personal tribute to Sally. I think this is just a good example because Sally made an incredible effect on my life. She was not only one of my absolute best friends, but she really changed the course of history for me. And this is a bit, those of you remember that great play by Tom Stoppard called Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Didn't see that coming anyway.
You'd always put it in.
It's a play about how two minor actors in Hamlet, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, are supposed to go into this future in Hamlet, whatever that is. And then he changes the play so that a chance encounter diverts them into a whole different future universe. And that's kind of what happened to me when I met Sally at Shell all those years ago. It was 37 years ago, 1988. And I was working in Shell in a place called the Information Centre. One or two of you here will actually remember that, I'm sure people. And it was a place where you could go to use the PCs and plotters. We only had 3 PCs in the entire company in those days. And Sally used to come along there to use the plotter. And she always needed a bit of help with something. So that was my thing. And she was always so grateful for the help. And she, you know what Sally's like. I don't want to be too much trouble or anything, but you know. So then she said to me one day, did I want to come down to the Shell Down? The Shell Down is the pub at Shell, and it happened on a Friday. And I said, no, I never even heard of it. So she said, no, you just come down to the Shell Down. And of course, she dragged me down, kicking and screaming, of course. And I went down there, and that was when I met Nicholas. The exact circumstances of that meeting I'll leave for a less formal occasion. But anyway, it was kind of, from then on, I became Sally was so positive, influential, and just thoroughly nice that she had everyone running around. She organised all the social events. She knew all of you, and obviously, and I sort of, as somebody who never grew up in Cape Town, suddenly became part of this Sally's tribe, and it was the most amazing experience. We did so many things together. Even this one. And other things I think of, you know, for about 10 years we went to gym together in the morning. Andrew, where's Andrew? Andrew was there, and Richard and so on. a lot of us used to go there on the way for about 10 years. Can you imagine how persuasive Sally must have been?
Just
And there was many.
What do you say?
He was very
You might have put him at a weight.
tell the truth.
How do you think they got me to jump for 10 years? Many cycling events, tennis games, even a bit of golf. Until Janet put an end to my golf career. She scared that's another story. And then, of course, the crayfishing years I think about. So, Nicholas and I particularly, but also Sally, went crayfishing, and we used to have beautiful briars up at your house in Komaki, and kept us out mistress for quite a long time. And then there were 2 amazing skiing trips in Austria, which I count. An unforgettable trip down the Orange River, that's been mentioned. We played in hundreds of pub quizzes together, and in fact organised about half of them, I would say. And then, of course, there was the sailing. But I want to mention birthday parties, because I don't normally have a birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, don't detail, please. My birthday's on Christmas Day, so I never organised parties. Sally thought it was not good enough. She organised one for me in June. And another one, Nicholas and I shared together in November, both up at Seabreeze. That's just, the person she was.
Naked photographs. Yes. Ooh.
4 digital cameras on it. And the point is really that none of this would have happened for me. To this day, it's changed my life, so that I'm here with you today. I know all these lovely people and did all these things. I don't know what kind of future I would have gone into, but it fundamentally was because of Sally. But I say all credit to Nicholas, who was equally guilty with all these things. In case you're wondering, I did actually tell Sal this a few years ago. And of course she listened with wide eyes, but had never given it a thought, that kind of person.
That's quite profound.
Yeah. Now, the next 3 things have already been said emphatically, but Nicholas as a champion.
You would have done the same. Paul would have done the same.
Not everybody knows that it's not just the last few years. Nicholas has been on board with this joint future for a long, long time. And then huge thanks to Jackie for all that you've done, the details of the really and Thomas, I especially know how much you care for her.
Yeah. Tom.
Huge condolences to all Sally's family and everyone, all her friends, and everyone who cared for her. Go well, Sally. You will be missed.
Thank you. Justin, thank you so much. And I think Justin gave us a huge amount of fun in our lives, Sally and myself. Even now at the end, when he's become a conspiracy theorist. Sorry, I said I only said once. We love it. It gave us something to talk about. But I think what Justin touched on, which maybe some of us didn't think about, was how Sally was able to bring people together from different spheres and just make it one big thing. And she never wanted to be the center of it, okay? I don't know what it was, but it just like grabbed people in and made it fun. So guys, once again, thank you so much. I can't thank you, okay? It's not my right to thank you. I think, as I said in the beginning, I just hope by us all being here and the fact that we're sharing these moments and thoughts together. Paul, you brought back some actually memories that I'd forgotten about completely. And hopefully that makes it more acceptable to all of us. And the terrible thing is that, I said it as well before, 50% of us are going to go first, okay? Just hope you're the last. No, the first. Just hope you're the last. Yeah. And I promise you now, Sally and I, we used to sit and talk about it. Sally said we were going to ask Linda to get us some morphine. Okay? And she said when it gets bad, she wants morphine next to bed. She doesn't want to go through that flippin' hell. And I think if I had my way, I'd go the way Sally went. It's a terrible thought, but I promise you now, she's happy. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Cheers.
Go tuck into the booze, and I apologize profusely for Derek's
Horrible
choice of
story.
food. Jackie wants lovely Hoster herbs and
Five.
Derek wanted curry rolls. So enjoy it, guys.
Vienna
And
sausage.
thank you so much. So many people here. I haven't seen in a long time.
Thanks, Nick.
See you next time.